Good morning, everybody. Jack Leeson with StartupTrading.com. It is 9:10 here in the morning on March 12th. Title of the video is One Long Completes. Can we get some more? Can we get some more? So yesterday, we're actually a couple things. The premium levels from yesterday just traded on that news. The ES absolutely stuck it, and the NASDAQ is stalling at it. So I don't think we're really out of the woodwork because we've run right into those traditionals. But we have completed along here, and the question is, do we actually get another one? Now, the Nasdaq's come a little bit shy. We would need to, it's basically come 10 points shy of its profit target. Yesterday at the close, we had the halfway back long from the low of the day to high. Now we came all the way down to these 61s, which is very common for the first traditional in a series because, of course, we've been in shorts for quite some time here. So that's not a coincidence or a rare occasion, I should say, at all for us to trade that 61 and then rotate higher. But what I'd be really interested in, and I don't know if we can get it, but my discount levels today are going to be the midpoint of the prior day. So first time in a while that the discount I'm using is not a short target, but the discount here is going to be the midpoint that I'm using for the prior day, and that is going to be a 19,414. So I'm not interested in any shorts below that midpoint here today. And we'll see if we do continue this squeeze off the open. This is what I'm going to be looking for. So we have this. I'm going to blow it up here. This is just a day frame indicator. You got the orange line being that upper mid, of course, and then the blue line here being the midpoint. But if we continue this squeeze off the open, as far as how hard if we for whatever get all the way up to this negative 61, I would be very wary of looking for anything past it. I'm actually going to use two discounts, two premiums here today. One of them is just going to be yesterday's premium level. So what is the traditional from Friday's high to Monday's low? That was the level of premium we were looking for on the prior day. We've traded that. We're basically at it. I still think that's a valid short until it breaks. Once we break this 61, or if we break out the 61, I should say, we can eventually get the full halfway back long from the low of the week. Okay, and that'll be a setup that's going to take some time to brew, but just be aware of that. But first, we would need to break above that. If we just fall, which would be completely normal from this traditional. I mean, if we're backing out here, this is we have Wednesday's high of last week to Friday's low, trades all the way down to its negative 61, and then this is really just the next setup, and it just does this CPI number matter that much to the market to get a bigger squeeze? If it does, I'm gonna look back at this Wednesday anchor again to low as a potential resistance, and I'll actually move the premium level down to that. I would not today look for any longs above that level. That's going to be a 19,950s if we get there. So just be aware of where that is. But ideally, what I would like to see here today, and I still think we can sell off from these levels, I would like to see the full halfway back long trade again and really come down into those midpoints and prove that those are willing to hold and that we can stay one day above it. Now in the overnight session, they sure as heck basically defended it. But in the most aggressive case, I would think we get down to the upper mid off the open and hold that. That would be kind of the first thing I'd look at, is that if we can actually hold the upper mid, if we are going to get that big squeeze. But there's still been so much, I think, real selling here that for us to run back into the traditional, I'm not too convinced we're going to go straight up through these targets. But if we do, if we do, I will probably be missing the majority of the squeeze up on the initial move because I'm not gonna. If we open at highs above the prior day's high and really start squeezing, I'd really only be interested in like fast scalping because I'm so afraid of a hard reversal here because of what we've seen after every rally. And I have been taking longs, but I like to take longs near what I consider to be the bottom of the range, and we're at the top of the range. So going long near the top of the range into an open is not something I see myself doing here this morning. Although, of course, I changed my mind very quickly as soon as that bell rings. Um, but ideally speaking, I would love to see us come down to the mid. We're probably not going to get that if they're super strong. And if we are super strong, I'm going to let the market show us. And I will just be looking at, maybe this next measured move. So the overnight lows, the highs, when that trades. That is at least what I would expect here this morning, and just general volatility for us to get down to that level. I think that'd be completely normal. And then see if there's enough buyers there to keep us above. So I'm going to watch that as the first potential long scenario, and that's going to be right near that upper mid 19,600 to like 19,080 area. Other than that, we're just running into that next traditional short in this very well. We could be talking about this next week as it's completing its target at 18,877. I don't want to put that out of consideration. The way this market's been trading. So that's what I have here for the NASDAQ. And then for the S&P 500, an even more beautiful stick of that premium level. This level was, yesterday's trade plan. Okay, kind of interesting. This was literally yesterday's trade plan. We ended up rotating up into it this morning. Now, if you remember this, we did make a new low. We did make a new low. So technically this could have been adjusted before, but there was clearly looked like some orders here. We also completed the halfway back long from yesterday's low to that end of day high. And so I'm going to use this overnight low from like 3 a.m. to high. This is what the ES I would like to see kind of hold here off the open if we're going to get that squeeze. And if we're getting that squeeze in the ES here, and we're going to push above these premium levels, once again, I'm going to duplicate. We have, oh shit, I just deleted it. Delete and duplicate are two different commands. Hey, wait, actually, I can Control Z, can't I? Ah, there we go. Forgot about that hot Q. So, duplicate. Okay. I would be very wary of any longs above the negative 61 of yesterday's draw. And that is going to be a 57.10. So quite a bit a ways away. Also, I do want to pull. So this last traditional that completed targets, I'm going to just use that anchor again to be aware of. Oh, you know what? It lines up almost perfectly with that negative 61. So between anything above 5704 to 5710s today, I think would be a great potential for reversal if we even can get up there. But like I said, there is a more aggressive short here that is holding. I'm even going to drag this down to that low, but that is holding. And I'd love to see a move down to that midpoint. That midpoint is going to be a 53.93. So that is what I got here for these indexes off the open. And we'll just see if sellers are coming in and driving us back to the midpoint. And then I think we could bounce. That's where I think we'll see if the selling's truly over. Otherwise, I just see this as another pop to drop it. But true buyers, I think, would come in at the midpoints here today. And that's going to be one of the areas I'm really looking for control. So I'll share these levels with everybody in the room. Trade safe, and we'll take it there.